I'm frustrated. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Kyle. If you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I encourage you to go back and watch them. So I had open heart surgery back in December, and you can hear the full story back there. And the short story is open heart surgery, pacemaker, aortic valve replacement, aorta replacement. And I'm at a point where I'm trying to get back into cycling with a pacemaker. And I have found very little information out there how to do all of that and how to navigate that. And the data that I'm getting from my heart rate monitors is not great. And I'm trying to figure out how to navigate all this. So here is some data. And I want to start over here on the overview just so you can kind of see what I'm dealing with. These are the rides I've done since I have been back to riding. And I started in June 15th. My June 15th ride was a proof of concept ride. Because when I was in cardiac rehab and using the recumbent bike, my heart rate did not change. And to give you kind of a basic understanding of why it didn't change, my heart rate, my pacemaker, adjusts my heart rate based on an accelerometer. So as I move my upper body, as there's movement there, it increases my heart rate because it knows that I'm moving. But if this stays stationary, it doesn't do very much. So I've been trying to figure out, can I even get back into cycling because of that? So I did what I considered a proof of concept ride. And if you look at the numbers here, I found these numbers rather encouraging because when I was, again, in cardiac rehab, these numbers did not look like this. I did have a pacemaker adjustment to make the accelerometer more sensitive. But you'll notice that like I start out with kind of a high heart rate and then it kind of dips down into the 70s and it kind of gets up there a little bit. And at the very end, it spikes again. So looking back, trying to figure out like, why is it doing this? And what I realized is that here it's higher because that is movement of me getting onto the bike. And then I settle in to start riding and the heart rate drops because my upper body is stationary. And then over here, we're getting to the point where I'm ending the ride and hanging up my bike. So I'm moving. I'm getting off the bike and, moving around. So the heart rate goes up. And if you look at the data for all of these other dates, it's basically the same. It starts out, we get in the 90s, the 80s, and it drops into the 70s. This, I don't really know what happened here. I might have been out of the saddle riding, out of the saddle riding and going up a hill or something. I don't know. But you'll see, like, we dropped into the 60s. And then at the very end, it kind of goes up as I end the ride. So, June 23rd, basically the same stuff. It's, high up here, 70s, 60s, and then high at the end. That's the story. And then there was this July 4th ride. And the July 4th ride was kind of the ride that I went, something's got to change. Like if this is actually going to work, cycling, I need to do something differently. So I called for help. I got my electrophysiologist, I sent them a message on the 4th of July. I was like, hey, like I just did a bike ride and it said, like, I know I was using an Apple Watch, heart rate monitor. This one is a Wahoo monitor. So it's around the chest, so it's electrical signals. But I'm registering this ride was a 56 beats per minute average ride. Like you can't do that and get anywhere in cycling. So I sent them a message and they got back to me and they were like, hey, come in on July 8th, but we want you to go for a ride on July 7th. Take as many notes as you can. And that's actually when I built this spreadsheet. I exported all this information from Apple Health and put it in here. So here's the July 7th ride. Again, Wahoo kicker strap. Here's the data. And I actually even noted, so there's a hill where I live. And just to give you kind of an idea, like if this is flat, this hill is about that. Like it is barely a hill. And I kill myself going up on that hill. So At this time, 649 to 651, and at 1659 to 1701. Those numbers are wrong, but that's when I hit the hill. And my heart rate during those times, so 649, it's in the 60s, it's in the 70s. And it kind of got up to the very, very end of that hill. We got up into the 80s, and then dropped right back down again. So, so that's where I kind of like I am at the moment. I'm kind of waiting to get back to the electrophysiologist for them to look at the data and to see if there's anything we can do to make this any better for me. So I hope to have an update soon. And once I have an update, I'll let you guys know. So thanks for watching. Kind of a depressing one because I'm frustrated. Thanks. See ya.